Okay, I originally wasn't going to shoot a video on this, but when I was doing my lower control arm on my truck, as much as I put a pry bar and checked everything, and the only thing I saw bad was a lower control arm on the driver's side. When I was putting it together, I noticed I'm slopping that same upper control arm. And actually the stud was loose from the spindle assembly. Just a little play in there. So I tightened the castle nut, went about my business. Upper ball joint got clacking pretty bad. Actually, it stripped itself out of its socket on the control arm. So, now that needs to be fixed. So I brought it back in the shop and tore it apart. In the process, I went to town and actually went to AutoZone and bought a upper ball joint. Kind of glad I did. Check this out. I got 3 ball joints. One is off of, that'd be this one, off of the truck I'm working on. You see where it stripped itself out. It's got really thin threads that threads up into the upper control arm. The upper control arm is nothing but pressed metal with a thin set of threads. And this is off the donor truck. But this came off of the truck. You see where it stripped itself out. This is off the donor truck. But in the process of taking the spindle off, undoing the castle nut and taking the spindle off, it too had a lot of play. So look at the diameter of my new ball joint compared to the 2 other ones. Now, that this is not wear. See, this is diameter. I'll measure it down here, okay? And this is the play. Look at that. I got a 1/4 inch of play in both of them. So instead of tightening into that spindle right about here, it sucks it all the way in. 2 trucks, not related to each other. This one bought out of Dallas, this one bought out of Tulare, Texas. And they both got the wrong damn upper ball joint in it. So obviously there's a string of wrong parts going into trucks, maybe multiple vendors. So that's why I decided, hey, I'm gonna shoot this video, because see how snug that is? And see how loose those are? Let's go to a spindle. This is the spindle I just took out of that truck. Actually, see where it's been beaten on there. This is the old ball joint. It damn near bottoms out. This is the new ball joint. See that? That's what it should do. That taper should suck down in there. It's the same with the spindle on the truck. So either this one's wrong or these are wrong. But I believe these are wrong because this shouldn't go no further. See where the taper ends? It should be ending up in here somewhere. But it goes past that. See that? See that? That kind of pisses me off too, because how many owners of these old Dodge trucks are replacing ball joints like crazy when they shouldn't have had to have been? Because some vendor somewhere or some manufacturer was building to the wrong specs. That's frustrating. It also caused other damage when it worked itself loose. Broke off one of my brake caliper attaching bolts. I got to drill it out. So hopefully this will be the savior, and I got to take that other control arm off and fight with it. And then once I get it off, I'm going to replace my right-hand tire and get it aligned. Alrighty, I got it back together. I just want to show you the difference. Here's the upper control arm and ball joint. Look at the space between the control arm and the steering knuckle. It's got a good inch and a 1/4 or so in there. And everything's tight. The castle nut's in place. And you can see the cotter key has no problem getting through to the castle nut. So actually on the previous ball joint, the castle nut was jawed almost past, well, it was jawed past the cotter key. So I had to put a spacer, a couple washers behind there to prevent that from happening. So that obviously wasn't right. And this upper control arm was jawed almost all the way up to the spindle. Let's look at the passenger side. It's not as bad as the driver's side was. And there is a distance in there, so that's good. So I might not go out of my way to replace the passenger side right now. Hopefully we got her. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends.